Good morning, I'm Senior Chief Burnham, and greetings from Noru. In previous videos, we've talked about the daily production review. You've seen how the daily production review can go when things are going well. What we're about to discuss is when the DPR is conducted in a negative light, and starting off with negativity and not covering the bases with the human aspects that we've talked about previously.
Petty Officer Johnson, how many appointments you set today?
I didn't set any appointments.
Okay, how many surveys did you collect from your presentations?
None, because I actually forgot to bring surveys for the students.
Okay. What kind of response did you get from your presentations?
Didn't really seem like anybody was interested.
Why do you say that?
I don't know. I don't think I'm really cut out for this job.
Well, how would you expect to be good at this job if you can't even do the little things? I'll tell you what, why don't we add 100 phone calls to our phone power tonight so that we can get the activity that we need?
My daughter's plays tonight. I cannot miss it. I already put it on my calendar. It's at 1800.
But that's not my fault. You're the one that didn't get your surveys. We got to get the activity for today. And let's talk about your SOAR Evolution that you had scheduled. I'm almost afraid to ask, but how did it go?
Okay.
What does okay mean? Did you set any appointments?
So after the presentations, I actually went to a different zip code. I went to 32547. I went to my favorite coffee shop, and I just spent most of my time there.
So you completely forgot about the plan that we had set. Let me guess, you didn't even pass out any business cards at the coffee shop. You know what, Petty Officer Johnson? I think this is a case of the won't do's and not the can't do's. Forget it. Let's just talk about phone power.
As you can notice, the recruiter in charge started the conversation on a negative tone, merely starting off the conversation on numbers only. The recruiter in charge made degrading and negative comments like, forget about it. Instead of being empathetic, having a normal human conversation, asking that young recruiter how everything went, and also coming together by using Valor coaching skills to develop a plan of action to make the next SOAR Evolution go well. You'll see in upcoming videos a more positive light and better way to conduct that DPR.
Okay, you know what? Let's talk about phone power. What'd you get?
I didn't get anything. All the parents said their students are going to college.
How many attempts did you make?
25.
I thought you were on for 50.
So the school I called actually only has 30 seniors.
You were supposed to call Gulf Breeze High School.
So I actually started calling Choctaw because I have not contacted their seniors yet.
Okay, gotcha. Did you at least log them into Salesforce?
No, I have a mentoring scheduled.
Make sure you get them in tomorrow. Now I'm going to have to call the DLCPO and talk about numbers again.
As you'll notice, the recruiter in charge has merely thrown in the towel and given up on the recruiter and just saying, hey, it's a wash. As you'll see, referenced in this video is a link that you can reference the RLAM. Now, there's no one-size-fits-all when it comes to DPRs, but you can use that as a reference to framework your discussion that you're going to have with that DPR. It's important to understand the purpose of the DPR is to talk about strengths, weaknesses, follow-ups, to plan, train, and adjust to that recruiter's planner. The recruiter in charge is responsible for that next day's activity. Now listen, your DPRs are going to be tailored to the specific weaknesses to that recruiter, rank, and so on and so forth to understand what training you need to do. And here's the other thing with the daily production review. Merely letting your recruiter know what to do or what plan to have is great, but it's even better when you say, hey, you know what? I will be going out with you to this SOAR. You and I are going to conduct these high school presentations to model that positive and proper behavior.
Petty Officer Johnson, so how'd your presentations go today?
It didn't go so well.
Well, not all presentations go as planned, but tell me about them.
The presentations actually got better the more comfortable I got with the class. But second period, I realized that I wasn't passing out surveys. And then third period, I went to my bag to actually grab the surveys, and they weren't there.
Well, I can completely relate to that. My first year recruiting, I forgot to take surveys like several times. Mm-hmm. And during those presentations, it just completely ruined the entire presentation. So I know exactly how you feel. Moving forward, though, how about this? How about we do a pre-SOAR together, and we'll get everything that you need for your presentations, including surveys, any RADs, everything. Get it all together the night before, and then that way you're 100% squared away for your presentations the following day. How's that sound?
Good.
Okay, now that we have a plan for getting the surveys from today's presentations and a plan for future presentations, let's talk about your SOAR today. How'd that go?
Didn't really go as planned. I ended up going to 32507 instead, and I went to my favorite coffee shop, and that's kind of where I ended up being most of the day.
Okay, well, you have to let me know when you deviate from the plan. And plus, that zip code wasn't even one of your hot zip codes. The reason that we do plan out with the hot zip codes is because they have a better propensity to enlist. So let's reorganize and let's get a better plan for you for tomorrow. How's that sound?
That actually sounds really good, Chief.
Okay, hear me out. This might sound crazy, but when you're out there PDCing, you're already going to be asking people whether they want to join the Navy or not, right? So you're going to get a bunch of no's. But since you already know that, then just take the stress and the pressure off by just asking and getting a certain number of no's. With a certain number of no's, you're going to get some yeses. So have fun with it.
That actually sounds really good.
Okay, I see you have phone power from 16 to 1700 on your planner for 11 S's from Gulf Breeze. How'd that go?
I actually ended up calling Choctaw instead. I did 25 attempts, but I only got through to the parents. I wasn't able to reach any of the seniors.
Okay, I realize you haven't talked to them yet, but why did you deviate from the plan?
I just thought it was a better idea because we haven't contacted them yet.
Okay, I can understand where you're coming from, but we have a prospecting plan for a reason. I want you to be successful, and to be successful, we got to prospect in the right zip codes and the best areas with the most propensity to enlist. So, where were you planning on going tomorrow?
Gulf Breeze High School.
Exactly. It's best practice to contact high school seniors the day before just to let them know that you're going to be there the next day at their school. Let's talk about the ones you did call. You said it was mostly parents?
Yeah, so when they did pick up, it was mostly parents, and I would ask them to put the students on, and that didn't work so well. And it was actually kind of discouraging, so I didn't set any appointments.
I completely understand. Most of the time, and it's going to be the parents. A lot of times, the parents put their numbers on the list for the school. So let's think around that. From now on, when you call, ask for Mr. or Mrs. So-and-so. That way we are already prepared for it if the parents do answer. And then why not just sell the parent? I mean, the parents are the ones with the authority to buy. So you can always talk to the parent and maybe, who knows, maybe you set an appointment with the parent. And that might be the best route to go.
You make it sound so easy. I just feel like I'm going to end up with a bunch of no's.
Well, no's are going to happen regardless. Think about it this way. The more no's you get, the more yeses you're going to get. So you need to narrow it down. You start with a big pool of applicants. The more no's you get, the shrinks until we get to the applicants that are actually qualified and want to join the Navy. Well, let's pause for a second. You seem a little distracted. Is everything all right?
Yeah, I'm just a little stressed out. You know, I'm new to this whole recruiting thing, and I just want to be good at this.
All right, well, I can tell something's on your mind. So, what's going on, man?
So my daughter's place tonight, I put on the calendar. It's at 1800, and now I'm going to have to call my wife to tell her I missed activity, so I'm not going to be able to make it tonight.
Well, I appreciate being honest, and I do remember your daughter's play, and you did put it on your planner. So I'll tell you what, let's just pull out your planner. Let's make our adjustments that we've already talked about, and then let's make the adjustments to your activity. So we do need to make up for that activity lost today, but since we didn't get anything today, let's spread it out a little bit. Let's add an appointment for tomorrow, and then we'll add one for Wednesday. That way, it's a lot easier to attain. How's that sound?
Yeah, that sounds great. I'll go ahead and adjust my planner, and then I'll have you review it. And my wife and daughter will be, obviously excited for me to come to the play tonight.
We've seen the proper way to positively conduct a daily production review by utilizing our Valor coaching skills to ensure the environment's correct and that we start off the conversation properly. It's also important to know when conducting the DPR, we have to be mindful of time. If we wait till the very last minute in the day and we do a rush DPR, it's not going to be conducive for anybody. It's important to understand that yes, the DPR must be conducted once a day, but many DPRs throughout the day are 100% recommended. Because if you wait to the end of the day to the DPR to state what went right or wrong, you can't change what happened that day versus a mini DPR where you contact at lunch and then the recruiter in charge has the ability to adjust that recruiter's plan to be successful. We've also seen some bad examples, some negative examples of a DPR that starts off where the recruiter in charge is frustrated. I get it. This can be an exceptionally frustrating job. We have to make sure that recruiters in charge and leadership overall are in the right frame of mind themselves to conduct that DPR. Because again, the intent of a proper daily production review is to train, plan, and adjust to that recruiter's planner to ultimately help them to be successful. And really another intent of it is, as a recruiter becomes more advanced, then they're going to be fleeting that information up. That's a great recommendation. The DPR will still continue to happen, but there's nothing wrong with a good positive flow of communication to help the team understand where they're at and where they're going.